1. Who is the author of the article? William Ackman. Is the author unknown? Is the author a financial expert? 2. What is the main topic of the article? Finance and investing. Is the article about healthcare? Is the article about finance? 3. What example does Ackman use to explain finance? Lemonade stand. Does he use a complex business model for explanation? Does he use a simple business model for explanation? 4. How can one raise money for a business according to Ackman? Form a corporation and sell shares. Does Ackman suggest borrowing from friends? Does Ackman suggest selling shares? 5. What is the importance of a balance sheet? To calculate the value of a business. Is a balance sheet irrelevant for a business? Is a balance sheet crucial for a business? 6. What does the income statement show? Profitability of the business. Does the income statement show the company's debt? Does the income statement show the company's earnings? 7. What is considered safer, debt or equity? Debt. Is equity considered safer? Is debt considered safer? 8. Who gets paid first if the business fails? Debt holders. Do equity holders get paid first? Do debt holders get paid first? 9. What is the difference between debt and equity in terms of capital? Debt is a loan, equity involves selling shares. Is debt about selling shares? Is equity a loan? 10. What does Ackman emphasize about investing? Importance of starting early. Does Ackman emphasize delaying investments? Does Ackman emphasize starting investments early? 11. Where does Robert the Mouse live? In a cozy suburban home. Does Robert live in a forest? Does Robert live in a house? 12. What is Robert's daily dilemma? Choosing between quick cheese and wisdom cheese. Is Robert's dilemma about finding a home? Is Robert's dilemma about choosing cheese? 13. What is the difference between quick cheese and wisdom cheese? Quick cheese is easy but short-lived, wisdom cheese requires effort but is long-lasting. Is quick cheese hard to get? Is wisdom cheese instantly satisfying? 14. Who is Mr. Kiyosaki? An elder mouse with wise eyes. Is Mr. Kiyosaki a young mouse? Is Mr. Kiyosaki an elder mouse? 15. What does Mr. Kiyosaki teach Robert? The value of understanding the cheese. Does Mr. Kiyosaki teach Robert to ignore the value of cheese? Does Mr. Kiyosaki teach Robert the importance of cheese? 16. What does Robert observe about his community? They are exhausted by the endless pursuit of quick cheese. Are the mice in his community relaxed? Are the mice in his community exhausted? 17. What does Robert want to achieve? He wants to reach the wisdom cheese. Does Robert want to stick to quick cheese? Does Robert want to find wisdom cheese? 18. What does Robert learn on his journey? The value of patience, perseverance, and calculated risk. Does Robert learn to be impatient? Does Robert learn the value of patience? 19. What is the true wealth according to Robert? It's not about the cheese but the journey. Is true wealth about accumulating cheese? Is true wealth about the journey? 20. What impact does Robert have on his community? His wisdom starts to spread, and more mice seek wisdom cheese. Does Robert's story discourage his community? Does Robert's story inspire his community? 21. What is the community's initial reaction to Robert's wisdom? Some listen, some dismiss him. Do all in the community ignore Robert? Do all in the community listen to Robert? 22. What is the long-term impact of Robert's journey on the community? A shifting mindset towards valuing wisdom cheese. Does the community's mindset remain unchanged? Does the community's mindset shift towards wisdom? 23. What does Robert discover about true wealth? It's about making the cheese work for him. Is true wealth about hoarding cheese? Is true wealth about making the cheese work for you? 24. What does Robert learn about instant gratification? It's not about instant gratification but about long-term gains. Is instant gratification the key to happiness for Robert? Is long-term gain more important to Robert? 25. How does Robert feel after his journey? He feels changed and undeterred. Does Robert feel defeated after his journey? Does Robert feel empowered after his journey? 26. What does Robert do with the wisdom he gained? He shares it with his community. Does Robert keep his wisdom to himself? Does Robert share his wisdom? 27. What is the community's general attitude towards cheese? They favor quick cheese. Does the community favor wisdom cheese? Does the community favor quick cheese? 28. What does Robert yearn for? He yearns for more than just quick cheese. Is Robert content with quick cheese? Does Robert yearn for more? 29. What is the community's main concern? Living in fear of scarcity. Is the community concerned about abundance? Is the community concerned about scarcity? 30. What does Robert find more satisfying? Wisdom cheese. Does Robert find quick cheese more satisfying? Does Robert find wisdom cheese more satisfying? 31. What does Robert learn about risk? Calculated risk is valuable. Does Robert learn to avoid all risks? Does Robert learn the value of taking risks? 32. What does Robert's journey teach him about failure? Each failure strengthens his resolve. Does failure weaken Robert's resolve? Does failure strengthen Robert's resolve? 33. What is the community's initial reaction to Robert's new wisdom? Mixed, some listen, some dismiss. Do all in the community reject Robert's wisdom? Do all in the community accept Robert's wisdom? 34. What is the ultimate goal of Robert and his like-minded friends? To reach the wisdom cheese. Is their goal to stick to quick cheese? Is their goal to find wisdom cheese? 35. What does Robert ultimately find more rewarding? The journey to the wisdom cheese. Does Robert find the destination more rewarding? Does Robert find the journey more rewarding? 36. What does Robert's story inspire the community to do? To plan for the future. Does Robert's story inspire the community to live in the moment? Does Robert's story inspire the community to plan for the future? 37. What does Robert learn about patience? It's valuable for long-term gains. Is patience a hindrance for Robert? Is patience valuable for Robert? 38. What does Robert learn about perseverance? It's essential for achieving his goals. Is perseverance unnecessary for Robert? Is perseverance essential for Robert? 39. What does Robert's journey teach him about community? A supportive community is beneficial. Is a community a hindrance for Robert? Is a community beneficial for Robert? 40. What does Robert learn about satisfaction? Long-lasting satisfaction comes from wisdom cheese. Is quick satisfaction more fulfilling for Robert? Is long-lasting satisfaction more fulfilling for Robert? 41. What does Robert learn about freedom? It comes from making wise choices. Is freedom restricted by making wise choices? Is freedom enhanced by making wise choices? 42. What does Robert learn about security? It comes from wisdom and long-term planning. Is security achieved through quick gains? Is security achieved through long-term planning? 43. what does Robert learn about joy? It comes from fulfilling long-term goals. Is joy found in instant gratification for Robert? Is joy found in long-term goals for Robert? 44. What does Robert learn about scarcity? It's a mindset that can be changed. Is scarcity an unchangeable reality for Robert? Is scarcity a mindset for Robert? 45. What does Robert learn about abundance? It comes from wise choices and planning. Is abundance achieved through quick gains? Is abundance achieved through wise choices? 46. What does Robert learn about values? Good values lead to long-term gains. Do bad values lead to long-term gains for Robert? Do good values lead to long-term gains for Robert? 47. What does Robert learn about sharing? Sharing wisdom benefits the community. Is sharing wisdom detrimental to the community? Is sharing wisdom beneficial to the community? 48. What does Robert learn about listening? Listening to wise counsel is beneficial. Is ignoring wise counsel beneficial for Robert? Is listening to wise counsel beneficial for Robert? 49. What does Robert learn about courage? It's needed to break free from the cycle of quick cheese. Is courage unnecessary for Robert? Is courage essential for Robert? 50. What does Robert's story teach about individual impact? One individual can inspire a community. Can one individual not make a difference in a community? Can one individual make a significant impact on a community?